Wish Jimmy would have said, and I wish he would have added, and almost no quarterback is. That would have gotten him off the hook because he's making it sound like Dak is especially incapable of doing it when the fact is not even Patrick Mahomes can do it. We just saw that. And Tom Brady can do it because of his aura, but Tom Brady as a thrower didn't win the Super Bowl. Tom Brady's aura helped win the Super Bowl. So when you're trying to be reasonable about Dak, and by the way, the media, it's not just the Tolo, as you know. The Dallas media, because listen, Dak is extremely likable. He looks you in the eye. Go back and watch that press conference if you want to know. There was 30 of us. He looked every one of us in the eye. Every one of us. And it's brilliant of him. It's sales. And it makes you want to be his friend. You do want to be his friend. Who wouldn't want to be Dak Prescott's friend? But I don't like to get in arguments about tape watching, as Greg Cosell did. I'm very deferential to the guy who really watches it, and I make a lot of fun of the guy who pretends he does, or watches it and then pretends he knows what he's seeing. I ain't that guy. If you could sit down just with Shan, Fish, and Dak, maybe we could, over a beer, or all those drinks that you were talking about in New Orleans. How did you mention? You knew every single drink in New Orleans. How was that?
Dripping Springs. Let's keep it to Dripping Springs, though. That's the main focus.
I don't even know how to pronounce absinthe, but you nailed it.
You know abstinence.
If you could have a beer with Dak and say, "What do you think of you versus Peyton Manning?" He would be embarrassed that somebody was thinking he's the same as Peyton Manning. He'd say, "I aspire to be that."
Right.
If you said you and Russell Wilson, he would say, "I want to go where Russ has been."
Right.
If you said you, now he might say, "Oh, I can take Deshaun." He might say Deshaun. He might be fine. That's fine. Deshaun's more like his little brother, frankly. But you're talking about legends of the game and saying that Dak is already there. I want him to go there. I hope he goes there. Maybe he goes there. Dak Prescott is not a legend of the game. For Greg Cosell to say, well, he's clearly better than he. How do you know? He didn't even play last year. When did he get better? He got better in 20. You're saying he got better in 2019? He didn't get better. He's not better today than he was in. Listen, he's not better today than he was as a rookie in so many ways. You want to do the eye test or do you want to do stats? Dak was incredible as a rookie. That's as good a rookie. Dak as a rookie really was comparable in terms of getting it done to Peyton Manning as a rookie. That's fair. And it's one of the most incredible rookie seasons in sports history, what Dak Prescott did. Falling in love with the Cowboys is a Jerry thing, falling in love with the Cowboys off season. But we can play this game, Sean, when you go, they're not better than they were a year ago. They're not better at quarterback. They're not better at running back. They're not better in the offensive line. They're better at wide receiver. They're not better in the defensive line. They're not better at linebacker. They're not better in the secondary. They're not better at kicker. They're not better at, they might be better at punter. And they're not better at coach. So until they aren't 6-10 anymore, the Cowboys aren't better. They're not better than anything. As much as I can't wait to go to Oxnard when we all fall in love with them again.
Autoflex Leasing Fan Text has lit up at 877-881-1053. It's dumb to compare eras. They throw it much more now than even when Peyton started. And then, Sharif, why are you limiting one's improvement? Not saying that he is going to be Peyton, but maybe he can come close. No. I won't even allow that. You can't. Peyton Manning. I can't even believe I'm talking about this. I forgot about Tom Brady yesterday with the Michael Irvin topic. So we've had Dak in the same conversation while not playing, mind you, with Russ, Watson, Brady, and Manning. Do you know how absurd that is? You know how crazy and insane that sounds? We don't even know if Dak Prescott's going to the Hall of Fame. That's a stretch right now. To say he's better than Romo or will be, that could be a stretch. And now you want to put him with maybe the greatest quarterback who ever played? Holy mackerel, guys. What has gotten into you? So it took all my restraint yesterday not to tweet things out. I couldn't believe it. But I'm going to call him Peyton Prescott from now on. I got Jalen Swipe, I got Talk Lawrence, and I got Peyton Prescott on the Dallas Cowboys. There's just something about the offseason, man. It gets everybody drunk. It gets everybody wasted in the offseason.
Sean,
crazy.
you could project this. You could project. I can see that Dak Prescott's going this way. That's okay. But you can't say it's happened. It hasn't happened. First of all, how many times did Peyton Manning play on a losing team? It didn't happen. I mean, he played for 18 years. It just didn't happen very often. There's a guy that picked up his team and lifted his team. He also coached his team half the time. If
I tell my friends today that I did a radio segment on Dak Prescott versus Peyton Manning that some people are trying to sell us on, I don't even know if I'd be willing to say it to them because it's so insanely ludicrous. That's like calling. I'll use a personal example. To sit there and compare myself to Joe Buck or Bob Costas, it's laughable. It doesn't mean I don't think that I'm good,
or that you could get there,
or that I couldn't get there. It doesn't mean that I don't have confidence in my abilities. Right. It's not an insult for me to say that I'm not the greatest broadcaster of all time. But for some reason, Dak supporters think it's insulting when you don't label him the GOAT or maybe not worth $40 million. That's what I don't get. And not the Tolos. Media people. I'm not even going to call out their names. There's 4 I could rip off the top of my head. They're in this little Dak gang in town. And I don't know what they've been watching, but you say anything negative against them and they jump you real quick. It's insane. It's crazy. And I'm dying to know what Choppy would think of this, because RJ, he thinks he's on his way. He is 28. Like, we all realize that. It's not like he's just 23. He's not in his second or third year. And yes, I've always allowed room for improvement on it, and I think he has gotten better. Like Cosell said, I think the best case scenario is to catch Russell Wilson as a player and his accomplishments.
And then that means go to 2 Super Bowls.
Go to 2 Super Bowls. Pencil you in every year for the postseason.
Every year.
No one brings up the division difference, by the way. I got all these people. Well, look at Russell's second half. Okay, well, look at his first half. If he had that second half, if Dak had that second half, you'd kill him. I already did kill him. He had it 2 years ago when they lost to Philly. That second half of the season, the offense disappeared. But people aren't able to separate the non-anointing of a legend versus still recognizing you're very, very good.
They're not able to separate their affection for a player,
yes,
from the analysis of what he is. That's why I'm saying if Choppy's point is you watch, he's going to get there. That's an opinion. To say he's there doesn't even qualify as an opinion, because to be Peyton Manning, the comparisons. The accomplishment,
but let me just stop it. He's never going to get there. Okay,
he's never going to get to Peyton Manning. He's never going to get to Tom Brady.
He's never going to be Peyton Manning. It's not a bold hot take on the home of the Cowboys. Dak Prescott will never be Peyton Manning. That's not a crazy light up the fan text statement.
I know. I agree.
It's not. I'm like walking a straight line here. Everyone else like Johnny Damon. He's not going to ever be Peyton Manning. It's never going to happen.